Welcome. Oh my goodness. Well, I hope that you're having a very good Sunday. And let's go ahead and just dive right in today. And we're going to begin with three ohms. And remember, we never want to do oming or prayers or affirmations, mantras, chanting, just because. You always want to have your heart in it. Feel your heart in it. Want it to be meaningful. So when we do this just like as you're listening to my voice, just let yourself really start to slip into that place of devotion and place of really feeling what we reference as the divine energy. So let yourself be in it. Be aware of it. You already are in it, but I'm asking you to, for your own being, to actually feel it. And let us do three ohms together. Om. 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 You see how it's different? And we want to always, when you sit to practice, always wait until you feel the practice that's already in you. Really, really important. Because today we're going to talk about the word respect as our virtue for June. The saboteur that I've chosen for respect is humiliation. Now, I could have used the word humility, which is also a virtue, and humiliation, but respect is more of a word that we're using in everyday life. So, humility and respect are very, very similar. So, when we have humility, which has to do with really it's a type of grace, like we were doing right before we did our ohms. It was an act of grace. Remember that the divine lives everywhere, inside of us, outside of us. We live within the divine. So when we take time to acknowledge that we live within the divine, it's grace. It's I'm not different. I'm not different from grace. I'm not different from God. I'm not different from love. I'm learning to practice to go deeper into being a loving being. So, respect has a lot to do with remembering who we actually are, that we are not merely personalities occupying a body. We are souls, and we have lived for many, many lifetimes. And we can only remember this much. Even in this lifetime, we can kind of only remember probably about this much, you know? What did you do 5 days ago? Okay, let me think about that for a moment, you know? What were you thinking and talking about 2 years ago on this day? And I'm not saying that we need to know exactly all these things, but you can see what I'm saying about we get so caught up, not even in being in the moment, but in the craziness of moments. And it begins to kind of rule us, and we begin to become reactionary rather than aware that we are living beings, that we are having an incarnation, that we live on a planet. I know I tell you this a lot, but it's important to remember that we live on a planet. We're always looking for aliens to see if they're there. Hello, are you there? But here, we don't really look for each other. It's like we're like, oh yeah, people. But aliens, now that's fascinating. Okay, but why aren't we fascinating? If there's aliens here, which there's beings from all over the place, all over the place. Let's just go with that. But we would be so intriguing to other life forms who live in other places. So if you can see yourself as intriguing, all of us, not just your own self, but all of us, it helps us to be more respectful. We live in times right now where it's very easy to disrespect one another. It's very easy to judge somebody as um, unimportant, unworthy, and ignore them, or worse. We have an epidemic of people feeling left out, left behind. And there's so many of us. Why do we feel this way? Well, I think it's because we're chasing self-importance. And why would we chase self-importance if we even valued our own self better? By valuing our own self better is to remember that we are of a divine nature. Not an easy thing to remember until you start to really practice it. And then you remember it a lot more deeply. So when you're in those times when you're by yourself, maybe you're by yourself because you're taking a walk. Maybe you're by yourself because the people that you live with are all doing something outside of the home. Maybe you find yourself by yourself because you went to a library, even though there's people there, you're by yourself and they know not to come around you. Wherever it is where you're by yourself, what are those thoughts that you, about the people around you, about the people that we share the planet with? What are your thoughts? When you're driving in your car, you're by yourself. There's all these other people, and we're focused on what they're doing and what they're not doing. But what are you thinking about? Are you driving thinking about how awful people are? Not only the people that are surrounding you in other vehicles, but people that you spoke with yesterday and all of this. We have a lot of thoughts that go on and thinking about what we're going to say to that person, make sure that they know what their place is with me. And I'm going to tell them, you said this and you did this and blah, 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 blah. We mix that up with standing up for ourselves. Wanting to humiliate another person, which is really a lot of what we're doing, but we don't want to use that word. We don't want to say that I am wanting to humiliate someone. But if I want them to feel what I feel like they made me feel, that is a humiliation that I'm wanting them to experience. Because I feel like they humiliated me. And even our pride will say, I wasn't humiliated. Okay. But you want the other person to feel that way. So again, I'm saying this thing, I'm just being really forthright and blunt because we don't need to judge ourselves or anybody else for what I'm talking about here. This is about learning to be more respectful of our humanity, of how we speak to ourselves, as well as how we speak to others. To be more respectful about what we think about, what we ponder on, what we're made up of. We are made up of our thoughts. And we want them to be more respectful about ourselves, about others. What happens is that you can see in our country, it's very difficult for us to stand up for peace. It is. It's hard. Standing up for peace, I love protesting, just so you know. Yes, but it's not enough. It's not enough. It's a way to say, I want to join with others to walk in solidarity for the word peace. but it's not enough. In order to have peace, we have to have respect. Respect is one of the requirements of a peaceful society. We cannot be peacemakers unless we live more respectfully. And in order to live more respectfully, we have to think more respectfully. And this is hard because we feel like you insulted me, so now I'm going to insult you because you deserve it. Oh dear. And you can see how that's not going to work. But yet it's there. And it's hard because, I'm sure that you're right now, you're wanting to argue with me a little bit, which is perfectly understandable. But what do you do? Of course, you can't just let that go. You have to tell him, you have to do this. I don't. No. I want to be able to speak more respectfully, even if I've been disrespected. This is not an easy thing for me to do, um, but it's becoming more of a habit because I see that it actually opens the other person or the other situation to what I'm trying to express. If I open my side of the conversation with an insult, well, that's it. It's over. I'm not going to be heard. I'm not going to be able to get moving forward. So I say this because it takes a lot of practice. It takes awareness and practice to be able to speak more respectfully. Because we have to think more respectfully and we have to help ourselves not to want to retaliate so much. Because have you ever been falsely accused of something? Raise your hand. Have you? Oh, everybody's been falsely accused. It's the truth. We've all been falsely accused, which means that we've probably falsely accused others in our life. You did that. And they're like, no, I didn't. I swear I didn't. Really, really. Being falsely accused is a type of humiliation. And false accusations can be on purpose or mistaken. When they're on purpose, uh, that's a very deep, bad thing. That's like throwing stones at someone, literally, to hurt them. It's important that we help ourselves to not want to humiliate someone, to shame someone, to constantly live in blaming someone. Well, you did that. You left that there. You did this. You did ba, 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 ba. And it's hard because you're probably again thinking, well, but how do we explain how we're feeling? How do we get it across to them that they trespassed? You're right. If you're thinking those kinds of thoughts, you're absolutely right. How do we do that? We have to practice. We have to practice treating ourselves with more dignity. We have to want to treat others with more dignity. And it's not an easy thing when somebody is not treating you with dignity. So these can be people that you love, people that you work with, people that you voted for and are now in a position in there and you're feeling like you're being disrespected or not seen. It could be people at your place of worship. It could be people that are at your children's school. Respect is one of those virtues that we can shout at each other. Remember, like I was telling you, when we have patience as our virtue, it's a virtue that people shout at each other. Be patient. Interesting. But respect is like that too. That's disrespectful. And you may say, but it probably is disrespectful. Yes. But if you really want them to feel that they have humiliated you, because we don't usually want people to see that we've been humiliated because that's humiliating. It's humiliating to say you humiliated me. The only good part about humiliation is it makes us aware of the strength of humility. Because when we live in humility, We cannot be as humiliated. Humility is an inner strength. It's a place where you know who you are, but you don't have to make a big sign that says who you are. Humility is a tremendous spiritual strength. It saves you from humiliation. Humility is an aspect of respect, just like respect is an aspect of humility. To live in a respectful way, again, it's treating yourself in a better capacity so that you'll treat others better. And after a while, they'll start to realize that you're not going to play that humiliation shame game with them. And it'll change. And this is how we change the world, one conversation at a time. Sounds like a lot of work because it is. But what else do we have to do? We all want more peace. I know there may be somebody says that peace is not something that they really want because why? Because they want control. But if you have peace in your heart, you have a great deal of inner peace. Inner peace. Inner peace makes you strong in everything that you do. It gives you that sense of humility where you know that others are wanting to feel good about themselves by humiliating somebody. Do you really feel good after you've humiliated somebody? Usually it makes us after we've humiliated somebody. Usually it's like this. Yeah. Now, does that look comfortable? Chin up, the eyes kind of slitty. No. If it we would look more fluid, more soft if it really felt good to humiliate somebody. But it doesn't. When we disrespect someone, we look like the people who have disrespected us. When we humiliate someone, we look like the people who have tried to humiliate us. If more that we see things in like a mirror, it, it will help us to not want to look like what we see doing to us. It won't make you want to escalate it and do it worse to them. It will help to make that drive inside to go down. Because that drive to do something worse to the other person than the way it came to you will just escalate everything. And it makes it far more difficult to have inner strength. And inner strength is a buffer. As you realize who you really are, just because somebody tells you that you're a dodo, it won't affect you in the same way. It won't. It doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. It doesn't mean that you don't feel it, but it will get you to a place where you won't want to return the disfavor. And when you don't want to return the disfavor, you become stronger. You have more peace. And that's not only good for you, that's good for all the people that you interact with. So that they're like, wow, I saw what she said to you. And are you all right? Yeah, yeah. She must be in a lot of pain to have said that to me. You see how that is? We have to want to be strong, strong and kind, not strong and this. This is easy, really easy. Takes no practice, it doesn't take anything. All it takes is a jolt. And in a moment, you're in that space. Takes no inner strength, no patience, no love. The virtues take strength and practice again and again and again and again. And that's why I always tell you, spirituality, there are no goals in spirituality. There is no room for ambition and goal setting in spirituality. It's about becoming. And the only way we become is through a practice. And we have to practice and practice and practice in this lifetime and the next one until finally we become the practice. practice of the practice, you will begin to fall in love with. You will begin to fall in love with it and you won't want to live any other way. And you'll see yourself fall and get back up and fall and get back up and fall and get back to up. But it won't be as painful as it used to be. And you'll feel better that you can walk away from someone and actually feel like, I can't believe that they really like see me this way. But now I'm understanding that that is how they see. This is how they see the world. Not just me. This is how they think. This is how they feel. Okay. And you see, it helps me to know I'm not special to them. I'm not unique to them. They feel this way about everyone. I don't feel as hurt when I see it like that. And I can heal myself a lot faster and I won't want to retaliate because I realize that this is a person who hasn't seen themselves as a spiritual being yet. And they may think that they are. Maybe I think I am. But I know that that person is, and so am I. The only thing that's different is a practice. And eventually, all of us have to practice. We do. You may say, no, we don't really need that. No, we don't have to. We don't have to. I have a choice. You do, but eventually you'll want to practice. You'll want to practice being stronger inside so you're not living in hurt so much. You will. I will. We will. They will. We don't want to live in hurt so much all the time. It's so easy to be mean. And of course, we live in the age of technology. I wonder if that's how they'll think of us. The age of, there was the industrial age, and now we're the age of technology. God only knows what the next age will be, right? But because we live in the age of technology, communication is much more quick. The response is much more quick. It comes in, you see it on all kinds of websites and every site you have on there, there's somebody giving a reason why something is very bad. And it's spoken in very harsh terms. I think it's easier to do it that way because we're unseen. People don't see who we are. We can just leave messages. And there's so many, you don't know who that person is. So it's almost like it doesn't matter if we just say it like that. But it does matter. It does matter because people are reading it. And they're like, yeah. Mm. So inside, we have to help ourselves to go, do I want to join that? Do I want to be a mob online? We only think of mobs in the street. But when we all collectively come together and do that, that's a mob online. And it has the same effect in the world as a mob in the street. It will cause harm to other people. And we don't get peace as quickly. And if you're wondering what peace is, practice it. Because we really don't really understand that peace is much more than, hey, hi. Oh, yeah, you want to say that bad thing to me? Okay, peace. No, no. It raises every one of us in terms of intelligence. It raises you, it raises me, it raises us. It takes more intelligence to speak peacefully. You have to go inside and question and help yourself, not go inside and humiliate yourself because that will draw more humiliation to you from others. It's an interesting thing. Humiliation can happen to somebody who's doing really good or doing really, really bad. It's what you do with it that matters. We want to humiliate people. I don't want to. And you may say the same thing that you don't want to, and it's the truth. But in a moment of incredible pain, what do we do? When somebody humiliates us with their words, we take that dart out and we throw it right back. So I'm saying this to you just like this so that we don't judge either way. It's not an easy thing to reduce our judgment. Judgment doesn't go away in a day or a week or a month or even a year or even a decade. It can diminish, most definitely. Being highly judgmental, highly critical, highly thoughtless can all be diminished and replaced by intelligence, new ways of thinking, new ways of communicating. And that's where we'll start to develop the ideas to help us live in a society where we're a lot more helpful to one another and we're not so darn jealous of each other that we're climbing over each other to get to the top. I mean, what's so good about being on the top? You're going to get tumbled anyway. Be who you are. Be on top of your own life, your own game, which is how strong are you inside to resist pettiness. Respect is not an easy word. It isn't. It's a word that requires thoughtfulness and determination to be respectful. It's very easy to say, I'm not going to be respectful to people who are disrespectful to me. I think that that would be a statement that I think is safe, that I could say most of us have experienced. Perhaps it could go far as to say all of us have experienced that feeling. And where did it get any of us? Did any of us leave that situation after we were disrespected and we returned that disrespect? Do you ever walk away feeling like, oh, okay, I disrespected them? No. So I'm trying to get us to understand to not be judgmental about these things to yourself and put yourself down and say, well, why are you saying I'm disrespectful? Well, I'm not saying anybody's disrespectful as much as I'm saying we all have disrespect inside of us. We're human beings. We have a lot to learn. Why? Because we're the head species here and we're like not in taking that seriously. In karma and reincarnation, we learn that you have to live a lot of lifetimes as other species in order to be born as a human being. And we say, well, human beings are destroying everything. They're not very evolved. Animals are far more evolved. No, we have the animal within us, of course. But we have to live our lives, even as an animal, in a way to where it's better. It's more loving. And then we have the ability to become a human being. To be a human being is an amazing life form in this universe. It is a life form where we can actually be aware of what these words are: God, goddess, love, deities, divinity. These things can only be intuited. You can't read a book and get it. Reading a book is helpful. Conversations are helpful. But the only way to understand about our humanity is to practice humanity. Have more self-control over ourselves, knowing that we've all been animals of different species. So we have lots of different instincts inside of us. Some of you have met my dog, Romeo. You know, Not quite a human being yet. He's definitely on the road to being a human being, but I can see that impulsiveness in him and I recognize it in myself. I don't think he's bad. I don't think I'm bad, but I know that I can do better because I'm a human being and I can help him. He helps me just by his existence. So I'm saying this to you so that you can see what I'm trying to say to you. We are human beings. We are capable of being peacemakers. We are capable of living in harmony. Not only are we capable, but that's what our job is to be spiritual beings. So sorry. It's my ring. Yeah. So it's not our job. It's not even really our duty. It's our right to evolve, to learn to love more deeply, more completely. It is our right to go deeper into what it means to be a human being, to not merely be a personality. We've earned this body, we've earned it to be able to be here and to experience being a human. And being a human is not just about eating donuts, even though I like that part. It's not just about experiencing this or experiencing that. It's about learning to go deeper and experience deeper levels of love, kindness, to help ourselves to find a way where we can rein in our horses and grow and know the difference. One of the things is to learn the difference between um, standing up for ourselves and humiliating someone. You can stand up for yourself in a lot of ways, and you may have to ponder on it. How can I stand up for myself in this situation without causing harm? You might find that you will have to cause a little bit of harm, but never like it. Never want to do it. You see the difference of what I'm saying? We have to let ourselves like become little by little, better by better. Then we live in more respect. And also, we won't only respect human beings, but we'll respect animals better too, right? Because we'll be like, oh, yeah, you've got a long road ahead of you. I tell my animals that. You, you have no idea how much further you have to go. Because eventually they will be humans too. It's true. It's so much deeper than what I'm saying to you, but I'm saying it to you to give you just a way of perhaps considering that to be born a human being is an incredible blessing. And this is really hard because there are people that are having lives right now that they would say to us, it's not a blessing to be a human being. So even though the blessing is there, they're not experiencing it. So instead of faulting them, instead of faulting the people who may even be responsible for that experience for them, it's important for us to feel peace for that person. Let me tell you what I mean by that. So when we pray for other people, it's important for us to feel the prayer. Like I was showing you with the ohms, you have to feel it. It isn't enough just to pray. To pray is to invoke help from higher realms, beings that are higher than even humans are, because they can help us humans to help ourselves, to help one another, and to help the animals, to help whatever it is that's in front of us. But the prayer needs to be where it's also for you. So when you pray for to send help, please help those who are hungry today. Okay, so you're asking, please help those who are hungry today. It's important that you find a way to also feed yourself spiritually and also help me to feed my self-love so that I may be able to help others. We may not today, this particular Sunday, we may not be able to go out and help another person. But we have this where we can send that energy to other people. But you have to want to. You have to want to. And you know what happens when you do that is it grows deeper inside of you. When you pray for somebody else, somebody that you don't even know, like maybe you read something about a country this morning. I don't know. Ukraine is on my mind sometimes. So let's just say that this morning I was thinking about the country of Ukraine. So I just think to myself, okay, I really want to send some love there. Now that energy moved through me to Ukraine. Don't underestimate the power of a human being. We are unique on this planet because of what I just showed you. No other species can do that. We understand how to do that, but it isn't enough to know how to do it. It's important for you to know that you are doing it. You are sending love to Ukraine or to wherever. And when we think to ourselves that we don't like someone and we want them to lose, and we concentrate on it, and we send thoughts of, I hope you lose, it will go there. It will affect them. No other species can do this like we can. And you may think, well, we don't seem to be very evolved. No, that's not true. Like my dog Romeo, he's still in a puppy phase. There's certain things he can't do right now until he gets a little older and learns a little bit more self-control and how self-control will benefit him. As human beings, we're the same thing. We're learning to have self-control over our part of us that just wants to growl or bite. We're teaching ourselves that there's more to us and how to use our equipment as spiritual beings, how to send energy for healing. It moves through us, part of us. It's very important that we see that uniqueness so that we respect our humanity. You can see that we're having problems understanding that we're unique. You can see because the nature is really hurting right now. And there are people who say that we don't have any part of it or anything like that. It's not true. All pollution comes from thoughts. We have a thought to build a factory, and then we know it's doing bad, and we know it's dirtying the air. We have another thought to not take any care for it, blah, 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 blah. And it goes on and on and on until finally the water isn't flowing right, the weather isn't right. All these different things come from a human mind. All these things come from human minds. Am I saying anything bad about human beings? No. I am saying that we have to help ourselves mature as individuals and as a species and accept our responsibility to respect our empowerment, to respect our intelligence, so that we may respect our environment so much better. We have this ability, but we have to train ourselves. We have to help ourselves. And ambition isn't going to do it. Like I said, spirituality doesn't require ambition, it requires repetition. We are human beings. We can do things that no other species can do. We could make the world a big old mess by our thoughts. Now, if we can do that, we can make a big old wonderful clean space. We can turn this all the way around by our thoughts. Helping ourselves to be better, helping one another to be better, wishing, sending out beautiful things about wishes in the sense of I wish, I'm saying this to you so that no matter how you pray, I wish for world peace. Fine, use the word wish. Somebody else may say, that's not a prayer word. Doesn't matter. What's behind it is what matters. When you pray for animals, you can include water in there. You could include the forests. At the end of your prayer, you can ask that whatever it is that you've prayed for, that it moves through that situation to affect all sentient beings on the planet. In different dimensions too. There are humans that don't have bodies and they're in other dimensions right now. What? I'm saying these things to open you up to see that only human beings, we're the only species on this planet that understand that life goes on after death. And every animal that's on this planet will become a human being. And every human being will become a master at some point. Could be hundreds of thousands of years, but it will happen. We're all learning to, and for what end you want me to tell you to what end? I can't. I'm not that developed where I could tell you where you're going to go after this. No way. But what I can tell you is that uh, this word magic isn't dead. Magic is in every human being. We have the ability to create a world that is so incredibly magical. We just stopped believing in magic. Magic is a practice. It's a practice of thinking, feeling, and being. It's the practice of self-respect, of being a human being really seeing this uniqueness of that you are born a human being. You have had to go through so many life forms to become this. You've gone through so much to earn a life as a human being. But now just to disrespect it and just think of it as a body? No, the body is not what makes us a human being. It's our soul. Our soul has evolved to a point to where now it lives in a body that matches what it's earned. But you see, because we're human beings, we can do a lot more harm than we could ever do as an animal because we're so much more intelligent. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, we're not very intelligent. We are. We're like a puppy, though. We're like a puppy running around, wanting to eat everything, destroy things, but they don't even know they're doing it in total denial. Who did this? And the dog's like, I don't know. We're like that with factories that make a big old mess. I don't know. Doesn't I don't know. We have to develop going beyond being a puppy in a human body. Help ourselves to understand that, oh my God, I'm a human. You see, most people don't even think of themselves as being a human being. They're just like, I'm a person. This is how I dress. This is how I look. This is what's going on. Everything's about the body. I love my body, of course, and I want to take care of it and I want it to be at its best. But what's inside of this package is far more important to me. You know, packages are good. I love this box sitting here. This is a really nice little box. Nice little box. You see, it has something inside of it, but you can't see what's inside of it because of the box. And so we get so distracted by our box, our body, that we forget what's inside the box. Inside of this box is a crystal. And interestingly enough, a green heart. So I'm showing that to you because what's inside of your body is a soul. It's a soul who's lived so many lifetimes as a human, as animals, many different things. And we've lived in between those lives because we're spirits, we're souls. This needs to be respected. You don't have to, but why wouldn't you want to? Why don't you want to explore on, oh my God, what is she saying? I'm a human being and that's special? I'm a soul? I've earned this? That's a lot to hear. That's a lot to process. And it's you. And we can do better. We don't have to make everybody else the bad guy. We can do better. We can make better choices. We can think with more imagination. We can as individuals and as groups. So I'm encouraging you to pray for world peace. But as you're doing that, consider praying for inner peace because you're part of world peace. Pray for inner peace and have it move through you out to all other beings. And know that the beings that are what we call angels and masters that live in the other realms, they're all a part of us. They do exist. I'm not trying to convince you. It's up to you to find out for yourself. But I have zero doubt that there are beings who interact with us every day who are what we would call divine beings. They're here to help us, but we have to do the work. Helping us is not doing the work for us. So when you pray for peace, then help yourself to become a peacemaker. They will help you, but you have to do the work. Whatever it is that you want, you have to do the work. You want to do something with your career? Great, but also ask. Help with my career, but also help me to be the best human I can be. You'll get the help, but you still have to do the work. Of course you do, right? Respect that you are a human being. Respect that you and I can do better with our choices. So that the next time you find yourself losing your temper and being in a space, You know, help yourself to like come to the realization of I can do better. And then maybe later, after the anger has moved through you, you can do something there energetically to help yourself to remember your own humanity, to respect yourself, and to send that energy to the person that perhaps you may have been disrespectful with. We can do better. It won't make you weak, because what would be the point of me telling you that if it was going to make you weak? We can do better for each other. But first, we have to respect ourselves. And to respect ourselves, we have evolved. Our soul has lived such a long time, has lived in so many different bodies, that we have this opportunity here to actually consciously know that being a human being is something really marvelous. And it makes a difference how we live. It not only affects the people that you know, but it affects the people that you don't know, because we think collectively. And the entire planet is affected by the thoughts of human beings. All species of animals, plants, minerals, the water, the air, everything is affected by the collective thinking of human beings. So see yourself as an individual human being in a collective of human beings, and see the negative aspects of what our thoughts have done, and ponder and experience inside of yourself the positive things that we have the ability to become. To imagine it, to visualize it, to experience it, to be part of it is exciting. To know that as you transform yourself and you lift how you think and how you see things, it can become contagious, just like all the thoughtlessness has become contagious. How hate has become contagious, how disrespect and humiliation has become contagious. It doesn't make people better. It doesn't even make them stronger. Because the more that they do that, the more power that they accumulate, they have to keep taking it from other people. When you're naturally strong, you don't have to take anything from other people, because you're generating your own strength. You're not dependent on taking from them, humiliating them, and taking from them. You're not dependent on that. You have your own light, and it can move out from you. The strongest beings that have ever lived on this planet were the divine ones, those who really cultivated love to a point where they didn't take anything from anyone. They gave to everyone because they kept manufacturing love. Yeah. All who we consider masters, they don't take anything from us. They don't want anything from us. People say, I'm going to do this to help this master. Masters don't need to be helped. That's why they're masters. They don't need our help. They're here to help us. So take their help and better yourself. Know how fascinating it is to be a human being, and to know that you're going to be reborn again, and that your next lifetime will start where this one left off. So you want to have a good mind, a good, strong mind. You want to think good thoughts. You want to have a heart that's filled with love. At least the attempts. The attempts mean so much. The fact that you're attempting it to grow, to go deeper, to understand what peace and love is, that they're powerful. They're the most powerful part of us. Peace and love. But they're treated like they're wimpy. No, it's what you want. It's what you want for Christmas. It's what you want for your birthday. It's what you want to say on New Year's, that this is what you want. You want a year of peace and love. Instead, we're like, no, 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 I don't want all that. So I'm saying this to you to entice you to ponder on the nature of being a human being. Over this whole month, let yourself really ponder on what does it mean to be a human being? What does it mean to be the only species on our planet that understands that life goes beyond our planet, that we're souls, that we incarnate? It's a lot to know. Respect who you are as an individual, as a family member, as a person who is a citizen of a particular country, um, your spirituality, your culture, your race, your language, all the things that make us unique. All those things are really good. Be unique, but remember the collective, that you are a human being. And we come in all shapes and sizes, all colors, all everything, because we're unique like that. But what we have in common is love. So I ask you to practice respect. You decide what that means for you and how to do it, how to feel it, how to experience it. And every time that you pray, it means that you know that you're a human being with a mind that really, really influences things. Because it does. So I ask that this month that you also help yourself with prayers for peace. Feel them move through you. Just feel it move through you. And know and trust that it goes out. And you know what happens, whatever it is that you put out, eventually comes back to you. And then you'll feel stronger for it. And then it'll help you to do it again, but even more strong. Mm-hmm. The more good energy that you put out, it affects the world and it returns back to you. And then it brings you up a notch where now you have more empowerment. So your prayer actually has more empowerment. So as you practice sending that energy of love out, it learns to get stronger and better. And it returns to you. You get stronger, you get better, and it moves out in a stronger way. You see? Magic is alive and well. We just call it practice. So I'm encouraging you to practice respect. And I just wanted to remind you that we are having our summer solstice celebration. Is that the 20th? Saturday the 20th? And on the solstice, what we're going to be practicing is divination. Divination is what I do, the tarot and my stones here and all the different things that you see me using. We're going to you're going to receive a template handouts that will show you how to make one for your you'll see. What we're doing is we're going to be doing a way to do readings. It's very simplistic, but it's very accurate, and I think it will be fun. But it's deep, but it's fun. And anyway, the solstice is a really great time to celebrate together. We've been celebrating the summer solstice for thousands of years as human beings. It's a very good thing, the solstices and the equinoxes, to come together with other human beings to celebrate our humanity and to remember we're on this journey going around the sun together. So I hope that you will consider joining us if you haven't before, or if you have. It's always a good time. Any other? Yeah. Okay. Alrighty. So respect, right? So would you be so kind as to join me in doing 3 ohms together? And yeah. Om. May peace be with you. Thank you.